The Toronto Blue Jays continue finding new ways to frustrate their fans. Or maybe more accurately, they keep running into the exact same problem over and over again. The offense simply is not doing enough. And when a team struggles to score consistently, every mistake suddenly feels bigger. Every blown opportunity feels heavier. Every bullpen issue gets magnified. And every close loss becomes even more painful. That's exactly what happened again Friday night, as the Blue Jays dropped another frustrating game, losing 3-2 to the Detroit Tigers and falling to 19-25 on the season. The worst part? Toronto actually got a strong performance from its starting pitcher. Trey Yesavage delivered one of his better outings of the season, giving the Blue Jays 6 solid innings while allowing just 2 runs and striking out 6 hitters. For most teams, that should be enough to at least create a strong chance to win. But not for this version of the Blue Jays. The offense once again disappeared for long stretches of the night. Toronto managed only 5 hits and 2 walks against Detroit pitching, continuing a trend that has become painfully familiar this season. The lineup simply cannot create enough consistent offense. And because of that, the bullpen continues getting thrown into high-pressure situations constantly. To Toronto's credit, several relievers actually did their jobs well Friday night. Braden Fisher worked through the 7th inning, allowing only a walk while recording a strikeout. Joe Manaply handled the 8th inning effectively despite allowing a hit. Then came Jeff Hoffman in the 9th inning with the game tied 2-2. At that point, the Blue Jays were simply trying to survive long enough to give themselves another chance offensively. Instead, another late-game collapse followed. Hoffman allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, and eventually the winning run despite recording 2 strikeouts during the inning. Spencer Torkelson delivered the walk-off hit for Detroit, sending the Blue Jays to yet another frustrating loss. But interestingly, the biggest issue from Hoffman's outing wasn't actually the hit itself. It was everything happening before it, because there's suddenly a new concern developing in Jeff Hoffman's game, and opposing teams are clearly starting to notice it. They're running aggressively against him. For much of the season, Hoffman's biggest issue involved the long ball. Since signing with Toronto before the 2025 season, home runs have repeatedly hurt him during critical situations. Now, however, another weakness is starting to emerge: his inability to control the running game. After the loss, Blue Jays manager John Schneider openly addressed the problem. "The thing is, you've got to limit stolen bases," Schneider said. "The last couple outings for Hoff, teams are taking advantage of that." That's not exactly the type of comment fans wanted hearing after another late-game loss. Because if opposing teams are beginning to identify another vulnerability in Hoffman's game, the situation becomes even more concerning for a bullpen already under pressure. And honestly, Friday's 9th inning perfectly demonstrated how damaging those stolen bases can become. Hoffman actually opened the inning well by striking out Riley Green. But then Matt Vierling singled, immediately putting pressure on Toronto's defense. Hoffman responded by striking out Gage Workman, putting himself just 1 out away from escaping the inning. But then the game changed. With Zach McKinstry at the plate, Vierling stole second base easily on a 1-0 pitch. Suddenly, a runner who had been standing safely at first base was now immediately in scoring position. That altered everything strategically. Instead of attacking McKinstry aggressively, Hoffman intentionally walked him, likely hoping to set up a potential ground ball double play situation against Spencer Torkelson. The logic made sense, but the stolen base completely shifted the pressure, because now any extra base hit likely ends the game. And that's exactly what happened. Torkelson ripped a 2-2 pitch into the right center field gap, allowing Vierling to score easily and handing the Tigers a walk-off victory. Without the stolen base, maybe the Blue Jays approached the inning differently. Maybe Hoffman attacks McKinstry more aggressively. Maybe Toronto avoids putting another runner on base. But once Vierling moved into scoring position, the entire inning changed. And that's what makes this issue so concerning moving forward. Opponents are clearly becoming more comfortable attacking Hoffman on the bases. They know they can pressure him. They know they can force uncomfortable situations late in games. That becomes dangerous for a reliever already struggling with consistency. The numbers themselves only make the situation look worse. Hoffman now owns a 6.05 ERA after allowing 13 earned runs in just 19.1 innings this season. He's already picked up 3 losses and despite still generating strikeouts at an elite level, the overall results continue trending in the wrong direction. Since losing the closer role earlier this season, Hoffman has appeared in 9 games and posted a 4.15 ERA across 8.2 innings. The strikeout ability remains impressive. He's still striking out hitters at a 35.2% rate, ranking among the elite relievers in baseball statistically. But too many other things are going wrong around those strikeouts. Hitters currently own a shocking .510 BOBIP against him, which suggests almost every ball put into play somehow finds grass. Some of that is bad luck, certainly, but not all of it, because Hoffman is also allowing too many base runners overall. He's now allowed at least 1 base runner in 18 of his 21 appearances this season. That creates constant opportunities for opposing teams to pressure him. And once runners reach base, they're becoming extremely aggressive. Opponents are now a perfect 6-4-6 in stolen base attempts with Hoffman on the mound. That's a serious problem, especially in late-game situations where one stolen base can completely change defensive alignments, pitching strategy, and scoring probability. The Blue Jays already struggle enough offensively. They cannot afford giving opponents free opportunities to manufacture runs late in games too. At this point, Hoffman clearly needs to adjust. Whether it's quicker deliveries to home plate, varying his timing more effectively, or simply holding runners better overall, something has to change quickly. But honestly, Hoffman isn't the only issue here. The entire team still comes back to the same frustrating reality. The offense is not doing enough. Because when a team scores only 2 runs, every bullpen mistake suddenly becomes magnified. Every stolen base becomes devastating. Every late-game hit feels impossible to recover from. The Blue Jays continue placing enormous pressure on their pitchers nightly because the lineup cannot consistently create separation offensively. That's why these losses keep feeling so frustrating. Toronto actually gets solid pitching performances fairly often, but the margin for error remains microscopic because the offense continues disappearing for long stretches of games. And unfortunately for the Blue Jays, those problems are starting to pile up quickly in the standings. At 19-25, the pressure surrounding this team is only getting heavier. Fans are frustrated. The bullpen is under constant stress. And now, Jeff Hoffman appears to have another weakness opposing teams are aggressively exploiting. Right now, almost nothing is coming easily for the Blue Jays. And unless both the offense and bullpen clean things up quickly, the frustration around this season is only going to continue growing.